Hello friends, please like, subscribe and click on bell icon.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between the hills, there was a young man named Tommy. Tommy was known for roaming the fields with his beloved flute, playing tunes that could make the flowers dance and the birds sing. He lived in a quaint little cottage with his grandmother, who often told him stories of magical flutes that could summon rain or even tame wild creatures, but Tommy had never believed in such tales. One sunny afternoon, as Tommy was playing his flute under the old oak tree, something unusual happened. A tiny gray mouse popped out from the bushes and sat at his feet, listening intently to the melody. Tommy's eyes widened in surprise. He stopped playing, but the mouse stayed, its eyes fixed on him. Intrigued, Tommy resumed his music, watching in amazement as now not just one, but several mice began to gather around him, swaying to the rhythm. "Grandma! Grandma!" Tommy called, rushing back to the cottage. "You won't believe what just happened." With excitement in his voice, he explained what he had seen. His grandmother smiled knowingly. "Ah, Tommy, perhaps you have found a flute of enchantment. It seems your music carries a special magic." Inspired by the magical event, Tommy set off each day to play his flute, discovering he could charm more than just mice. Squirrels would mimic his tunes while rabbits and deer watched in fascination. The news of Tommy and his flute spread around the village, making him quite famous. People would gather to witness this magical performance, clapping and cheering as the animals assembled in harmony. However, not everyone was pleased. Mr. Grumble, the village grump, didn't like all the excitement. He owned a vast field that bordered the village and was always bothered by the mice nibbling on his crops. Determined to stop the surge of mice, he devised a sneaky plan. Late one night, Mr. Grumble sneaked into Tommy's house, determined to swipe the flute and destroy it. However, as soon as he touched the flute, it let out a loud, piercing note that echoed through the village. Startled, Mr. Grumble dropped it and tried to flee, but the calamity woke Tommy and his grandmother. Seeing Mr. Grumble's guilty face, Tommy understood what happened. "Why would you do this, Mr. Grumble?" Tommy asked, trying to hide his frustration. "These creatures mean no harm, they just enjoy the music." Mr. Grumble grumbled about his crops and the nuisance. Tommy, with a sigh, said, "Let's find a way that pleases everyone. I play my flute at the field's edge, guiding the mice away before they reach your crops." Mr. Grumble reluctantly agreed, and they shook hands. From then on, Tommy played his flute near Mr. Grumble's fields, and true to his promise, the mice followed, keeping away from the crops. Peace returned to the village, and even Mr. Grumble occasionally found himself tapping his foot to Tommy's joyful tunes. And so, Tommy, the man with the enchanting flute, became the village hero, not just for his music, but for his kindness, showing that magic doesn't always solve problems, but understanding and cooperation can. And every morning, as the sun kissed the fields, the music of Tommy's flute could be heard, bringing happiness to all, including the mice, who danced along joyfully.